The Digimon trading card game has only just arrived in English-speaking territories, and it is already chock full of references to the different seasons of the anime. It's clear that whoever is behind this card design over at Bandai is just as much of a fan of the lore behind the actual Digimon themselves as us players are. In this video, I'll be talking about the different anime and lore references and just general Easter eggs present so far in the Digimon card game's first set, Special Booster 1.0. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, in the Digimon trading card game, there are 4 different types of cards: Digi-Eggs, Tamers, option cards, and of course, the Digimon themselves. I wanted to start by briefly mentioning the Digi-Eggs. While not explicit references to anything in particular, all the Digi-Eggs in this game contain Digimon aside from themselves in their card art. These Digimon that appear with the level 2 Digimon are their corresponding in training Digimon that digivolve into that card. This kind of fills the role of the level 1 quote-unquote Digimon, since the in-training stages are missing from the game by not having their own cards, but it's nice that they are getting some love one way or another. The next type of card I wanted to talk about was the Tamers. These cards give you certain effects as long as they are face up on the field, and often have effects such as DP boosting, memory game, and searching. Perhaps the most recognizable Tamers in Special Booster 1.0 are the Digidestin from the original Digimon Adventure. However, upon closer inspection, you'll notice that the design for each of these 8 Digidestin are actually based on their new designs from the 2020 anime Digimon Adventure. Each of these Tamers are associated with a specific color which belongs to their Digimon partner. For example, red for Tai and Agumon, green for Mimi and Palmon, etc. Mimi actually has an effect that encourages you to play high-level green Digimon and allows you to essentially get 2 breeding phases out of 1 turn. This references Mimi's time in the Tanemon village caring for the baby Digimon in episode 6 of the new anime. Interestingly enough, Tai has cards in black as well, while Matt utilizes both blue and purple cards. Not entirely sure why these 2 Digidestin are the ones with dual colors, but this may be a reference to Tai and Agumon's connection to Wizardmon as hinted by the anime through the Digivolution animation, as well as by Agumon's dark Digivolution into Wizardmon. Now, before we get into the Digimon themselves, I do want to mention the option cards. Option cards are cards in the Digimon TCG that allow you to activate certain effects as long as you meet the condition of having a Tamer or a Digimon of the corresponding color on your side of the field. While there isn't anything to talk about specifically, each of these cards are a reference to a certain Digimon signature attack. Cards such as War Greymon's Gaia Force, Wizardmon's Infinity Cannon, as well as Paimon's Trump Sword. This choice leaves me feeling nostalgic every time I look at a card artwork, and it is a nice addition to the game as a whole. Now, moving on to the actual Digimon. For our first Digimon, we'll be talking about the original villain from Digimon Adventure, Devimon. Devimon has an ability in the card game called Retaliation. This effect allows a player to delete the opponent's Digimon that Devimon was destroyed by, even if that Digimon was stronger. Now, this is most likely a nod to Devimon's vengeful nature, and how it is very hard to actually kill this guy. In the original series, Devimon drained Angemon of his powers after the final battle on File Island, reducing the angel into a mere Digi-Egg. Even years later in Digimon Adventure 2, TK was actually still haunted by this traumatic experience. Even if we take a look at Devimon in the new anime, it seems like every time this guy dies, he somehow comes back stronger than before, a nature that is very well captured in this card design.
I'll stop you! You can't get away from the dark forces. Evil is everywhere, so don't savor your victory.
Our next card we'll be talking about is Leomon. So I had to put this one on the list because it seems like no matter how many different iterations of Leomon there are, they all seem to die some sort of tragic death. Leomon's effect in the card game rewards the player for his destruction with 2 extra memory. This might be a bit of a stretch to say him having a deletion effect is a reference to how he seems to die in every single season of Digimon, but hey, I thought it was at least worth mentioning.
Do what you must, Beelzemon, but I will not let you hurt these children.
For our third Digimon, we've got Wizardmon, yet another friendly Digimon who died an unforgiving death by protecting his friends. Wizardmon is a well-designed card for multiple reasons. Of course, he has that on-deletion effect similar to Leomon, but more than just his tragic end, Wizardmon also synergizes with yellow cards. Now, this is important because both Kari and TK, as well as their partner Digimon, Patamon and Gatomon, have their entire evolution lines printed as yellow Digimon. The fact that Wizardmon gains a bonus effect while you control a yellow Digimon is most likely a reference to his everlasting friendship with Gatomon in the original Digimon adventure, and how he saved both Angemon and Kari from Myotismon's Night Raid attack. His death was the catalyst for Gatomon's Digivolution into Angemon, and allowed the Digidestined to retaliate against their then foe, Myotismon.
このくらいで私を倒せんなどと思うな。しまった。
Now for this one, I'll be talking about 2 Digimon simultaneously, both Rosemont and Puppetmon. While these Digimon don't have any history together from the anime, both their effects revolve around suspending your opponent's Digimon. Suspending Digimon allows you to dictate when they attack and when they do not, and also gives you as the player the option to attack them, since unsuspended Digimon cannot actually be attacked. This is an interesting mechanic in the Digimon TCG, and the green strategy actually has a lot of cards that are able to suspend your opponent's Digimon at will. Rosemont has been said to be something of a temptress and has always been said to mystify others. She can even manipulate them with her Whipping Thorn and Forbidden Temptation attacks. Puppetmon, who is one of the Dark Masters from the original Digimon adventure, stays true to his moniker by preventing opponents' cards from becoming active while he is on the field. His ability allows the player to become the Puppet Master and control the flow of the game through his sinister effect. Here we have another one of the Dark Masters, Piedmon. Piedmon's effect allows you to play 2 or more level 4 lower purple Digimon straight from your trash at no cost. This fits with his Dark Master status and is also most likely a reference to how he has countless minions to do his bidding, that he can resurrect from the trash whenever he so pleases. Piedmon was also able to turn other Digimon and even humans into dolls and control them at will, so having an effect that allows him to summon forth henchmen makes perfect sense. The next Digimon I want to talk about is a fan favorite for both his design and his righteous heart. Galanmon is a very unique Digimon because originally in the Digimon Tamers anime, he was made up of a biomerge between Takato, the Tamer, and his partner Digimon Gyomon. The fact that Galanmon in the TCG has that bonus when Digivolved effect if you do have a red Tamer in play is likely a reference to the bond between Tamer and Digimon. His when attacking effect also gives you that extra offensive capability whenever your opponent has 10 or more cards in his trash. This ability is likely a reference to Beelzemon's effect in the TCG, which requires you to have 10 or more cards in your trash. These complementary effects between the two keeps the rivalry alive here in the TCG almost 20 years after their first clash. Speaking of Beelzemon, his synergy with AntMan is alive in the TCG as well. In the Digimon Tamers anime, AntMan was a weak but feisty character who was always shunned and neglected by those around him. That is, until he was able to digivolve into Beelzemon and gain the power of one of the 7 Demon Lords. Beelzemon in the TCG allows you to break a fundamental mechanic of the game so long as you meet the condition of having AntMan on the field as well as 10 or more cards in your trash. You will then be able to jump straight from AntMan to the level 6 Beelzemon just like in the anime.
待ってろ、アイマコ。俺は必ず帰ってくる。これは。ベルゼブモンブラストモード。
So the next card I want to talk about is Metal Greymon. Now, while this is not explicitly an anime reference, the secret rare Metal Greymon from BT1 is an awesome throwback to the Digibattle card game that made its debut in February 2000. Everything from the card art to the altered layout of the stats on the alternate art is a very nostalgic redesign for anyone who is old enough to actually remember the Digibattle card game. Coming to perhaps one of the most powerful villains on this list, and one of the most notable cards to mention, we have Diaboromon as well as his whole evolution line. These cards are a reference to the multiplicative and viral nature of the Diaboromon from the Digimon movie, Our War Game. All the stages from Sunimon all the way up to Infamon reward you for having multiple Digimon with the same name on the field, and Infamon himself even allows you to get Diaboromon out more easily. This is a reference to how in the Digimon movie, Tsunamon were rapidly sent through the internet via email and spam messages and were able to multiply to astonishing numbers. Diaboromon himself even has a when attacking effect that allows you to essentially make a copy of himself, referencing how Diaboromon almost took over the internet by making these countless copies of himself against War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. Even his second effect shows his elusive nature, as you can prevent him from being destroyed by simply deleting another Diaboromon and keeping the main body intact.
Diaboromon's back! Another email? Who can count backwards from 10? Huh?
Hey, what's with the timer?
He's making copies of himself! He's multiplying!
The next Digimon we have is none other than Tai's partner himself, War Greymon, who is a legendary Digimon in terms of his fighting capabilities. The War Greymon you are seeing is actually the alternate art War Greymon from BT1. This card specifically shows a side to Digimon we don't usually see, as the War Greymon in the picture is tattered and scarred from battle. He's even missing his signature Draymon Destroyer. In his right hand he has some piece of machinery and looks to have just gotten out of a tremendous battle. This is perhaps a reference to the Our War Game movie when War Greymon and Metal Garurumon were nearly destroyed in their battle with Diaboromon. And finally, for the last card on this list, we have the Royal Knight and the DNA Digivolution between War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, Omnimon. First of all, the fact that Omnimon can be digivolved from either a red or blue level 6 Digimon is of course a reference to how he is originally formed from the fusion between Tai and Matt's partner Digimon. His when digivolved effect allows him to destroy any Digimon on the field, and if there is another Digimon with that deleted Digimon's name on the field, those are deleted as well. Just like how Omnimon was able to defeat every single Diaboromon in the first Digimon movie in just a few moments. His when attacking effect allows him to also attack twice in one turn, perhaps referencing his ability to dual wield two extremely powerful weapons in the form of the Supreme Cannon and the Transcendent Sword.
War Greymon! What? Metal Garurumon! They digivolved together to become...
Omnimon! Transcendent Sword!
Hurry!
Supreme Cannon!
So that is going to be the end of this video, guys. If you have made it this far, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Now, this did take a lot of planning and work, so if you did find it interesting or insightful in any way, it would really help me out if you liked the video and subscribed. Because if enough people enjoyed this video, I will most likely make another one covering the cards from the 1.5 set as well as the starter deck. So if I missed any cards, or you have specific cards you want to see me talk about, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.